It's fall at JCPenney. Time to refresh your closet. This Thursday through Monday, get Levi's lowest prices of the season on 514 straight fit jeans for guys, $36.99. And select Arizona booties for her for $35.99. Plus, save an additional 50% off clearance prices already reduced by 60 to 80%. And get an extra $10 off with your coupon. Hurry in now. JCPenney. Coupon valid 10/5 to 10/9. Levi's and other brands excluded from coupon. Clearance selections vary by store while supplies last. Savings off regular and original prices. Intermediate markdowns may have been taken. See store or jcp.com for details. Season refers to 9/27 to 10/18.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Eat, Sleep, Fantasy Football Podcast, also known as the Pink Lemonade of Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Christian Brito. Joining me as always this morning is Mr. Dale DeMont. What's up, Dale?
Yep. To everybody waiting for our podcast on Thursdays, sorry, it is a little late, but we're getting it to you, so that's a good thing. We are the Pink Lemonade of Fantasy Football Podcast because we're the exact same thing as regular lemonade. It's just the pink is just for show. It doesn't make a difference. It tastes the exact same as lemonade. Just I don't even get the pink lemonade part. Is it just for kids? If you're an adult, you're not ordering pink lemonade, are you?
What? It does not taste the same. That's one.
Pink lemonade is the exact same, bro.
It is not. The high C lemonade thing, the pink lemonade. You get it like
yes,
KFC?
Exact same as regular lemonade. It's in your head, man.
Okay. Second of all, like strawberry lemonade, and
yes.
like those are like way better than regular lemonade.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Strawberry lemonade, yes, but pink lemonade is just regular lemonade, but for kids.
It's like a little bit more, isn't it? Like a little bit more tart and sour.
I don't think so. I think
it's
so.
Worse.
If you're over 11 years old, you need to be drinking regular lemonade. If the restaurant only has pink lemonade, you're better off just ordering.
Why are you condescending about everything we talk about?
I don't know.
If you
toast
your bread in this way, it's wrong. If you pour your it is wrong. But if you pour your milk before your cereal, you might be a serial killer. That pun intended.
All right. Today, guys,
please find a different job.
Today, guys, we are talking about some targets. Really, a lot of our conversation is going to deal with some running back issues, maybe comparing some running backs, carries, and touches for not only last week, but we're going to talk about some for the entire season. By the way, Christian, hold on. Breaking news here: Mike Williams of the Los Angeles Chargers is expected to play this week. Very, very sneaky. I'm not sure what kind of impact he's going to have this week, but man, I like Mike Williams a lot. I think he can really turn this offense around. He can really help Phillip Rivers here.
Okay. I think it's too early.
Perhaps.
It's too early. Can I get that job for myself?
What?
The ding, the news. I'll just forget it. Move on. Okay. Willie Snead says that the Saints are slowly working him back from his injury.
Nice.
Not nice. It's bad. If you're a Willie Snead owner.
Yeah, well, I told you not to own Willie Snead, didn't I?
Fair enough. His season is quite a mess right now.
It is. And I told you.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. Before we get started, guys, I really want to... There's 3 things I want to talk about, and then we'll get right into the fantasy. One, don't forget, hashtag 5MinuteMember. If you see us tweet anything within 5 minutes, if you respond, we're compiling a list of all these people that are doing this, that are hitting us back within 5 minutes, replying to us on Twitter with a hashtag 5MinuteMember, and you're going to be put in a pool to win a t-shirt. So, and you could be entered as many times as you want, so the more times you do it, the better chance you have. I'm not sure if we're going to do it every week, once every couple weeks. We do have some shirts remaining, so maybe every week until then, I don't know. But 5MinuteMember, if you really want to make sure that you get to that, make sure you turn on your notifications on Twitter. It's pretty easy to do. I think there's a little drop down that just says turn on notifications for Eat Sleep Fantasy, and bam. You can
bam.
2 more
Shirt
things.
in it.
because I said 3 things. So one other thing, the Amazon stuff. If you guys are going to buy anything off Amazon, make sure you go to our website, eatsleepfantasy.com. There's a little link for Amazon. Mm-hmm. Click that. It goes to Amazon like normal, and you can order whatever you want. And then it just helps out the podcast. We'll use it to, it's a very small commission that we get based off of your order, but we'll use it to help out the podcast, maybe get some different equipment or whatnot. So the last thing is decals. If you guys want a free decal, I am shipping them off very soon. I owe a ton of people decals. The list is building, and I have way too much work to do. But I do have the decals. That's the decals right there.
No, that's the secret sound of the day. Hold on, let's say caller number 1.
No, we're not doing that again.
Damn it, I wanted to do it the other way around today.
All right. So yeah, that's the 3 things I want to talk about today.
Do you want to do that on the live show tomorrow?
Yeah. Let's do
See if people listen and try to have them guess what the secret sound is.
Oh yeah, that's good. We're gonna have a secret sound. Live show, by the way, tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern time. We will post it on all social media, the phone number to call in and how to listen live.
PM.
And we'll also post it on our website later today.
I will not be doing a show at 7:30 in the morning.
No, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, let's start with the news.
All right. I really hate that drop. First piece of news. Tyler Eifert to undergo season-ending back surgery.
Yep.
So,
Tyler Eifert has been hurt multiple times in his career already.
Right.
And that's why his draft stock was low to begin with, because we're not sure ever if he's healthy or not. It sucks for him.
Yep. Next piece of news. Devin Funchess is expected to play tonight. I know he was limited this week, missed practice on Tuesday, but he's going to play tonight, Thursday Night Football. So keep an eye on that.
Funchess is the target leader on the Panthers right now. I prefer him over any other pass catcher on the Carolina Panthers.
By the way, going back to the Eifert news, Croft has filled in pretty admirably. I think he's probably a top 12 tight end rest of season.
Very well could be. Good take.
You're just going to do this stupid-ass drop for every piece of news?
Yeah.
Okay. Travis Kelce owners, myself included, be ready for the potential of he might not play this Sunday. He's still in the concussion protocol, missed practice again on Wednesday. He's going to probably be a true questionable toss-up in the air for Week 6. Stay tuned, because if he doesn't practice Thursday or Friday, he's not cleared by then, you're likely going to have to find another option.
Yep.
Deontay Thompson was released by the Bears. That's your
sucks.
boy, isn't it?
Yep.
Do you have the loser game show sound? Nope. Stop it.
I just want to move on. Dude, I am so disappointed. Just a couple weeks ago, he led the team in targets for a game, at least. He has the skills. He's fast. I don't get it. I don't know if the Bears know what they're doing.
I have one more piece of news, and it's not really important. It's just that Stephon Diggs also missed practice on Wednesday.
Okay. By the way, we get all our news from PlayerLine. If you guys aren't familiar with that app, get familiar with it. Basically, it aggregates all the news from all different sources and puts it all in one app. It's pretty cool, and you get notifications and stuff. So if you want to stay up to date, it's a good way to do it. I like it a lot.
Yes, sir.
Before we do want to move on, I want to do something because I'm pretty humble. I don't suck on my own dick very often.
Sure, of course not.
But
Nah, I just suck on my dick. Suck on my own dick, man. Hey, I suck on my own.
You're gonna play how long are you gonna play this drop for? Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't want to cheat people and just play some of it. So we are expert rankers on Fantasy Pros.
Oh God.
Christian is published expert ranker from his good performance last year. So kudos to him. But this week, just to let you know, your boy, Mr. Mr. For sure, Dale DeMont, was number 12 among all rankers on Fantasy Pros last week ranking. So I'm on it.
Should I say wow or something?
Huh?
Should I say wow?
Yeah, you should say, hey, good job, Dale.
Good job, Dale.
Representing ESF well.
Can I get the news drop one more time? Breaking news, Dale is still sucking on his own penis.
All right, let's get right into some of the targets, some of the stuff, some of the just quick notes I pulled out. I'm not sure if this is going to be a quick episode or not. Sometimes I outline this stuff, and I think it's going to be a 20-minute episode. It ends up being an hour. So we're going to try to give you some of the relevant targets and carries and touches, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to just go past guys like Melvin Gordon and Le'Veon Bell. We know about those. I pull out some stuff that I thought was interesting.
Okay.
Starting off, and this is in really no particular order here, but starting off, Andre Ellington, he surprisingly leads all running backs with 40 targets this year. Is that surprising to you? And that's kind of sneaky a little bit, isn't it?
When you have 14 and 10 over the last 2 weeks, that'll do that.
Yeah, he had actually shared the same amount of targets as Larry Fitzpatrick. So
Fitzgerald?
Jesus Christ. What did I say, Fitzpatrick?
Larry Fitzpatrick.
It's horrible.
That's Ryan's long-lost cousin.
Oh, my God. That's
Just gonna
horrible.
Quickly see if I can Google Larry Fitzpatrick.
Larry Fitzpatrick.
See if that's a person that exists.
Of course.
Larry Fitzpatrick is a former NFL defensive lineman.
See, that's who I was thinking about.
Played 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Nope. Not NFL. Canadian Football League.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's exactly what I was thinking. I watch a lot of Canadian football.
Yeah, he played for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yep. Go Tiger Cats. Woo! All right. Next up, I want to talk about a little bit Javorius Allen. We can't figure out what to call him. It's just so much easier to call him Buck Allen, but everybody else calls him Javorius Allen, and sometimes his nickname is Buck.
You're just saying that because you have issues saying Javorius.
He had 21 carries last week, led the team. Alex Collins had 12 carries. We thought it would be a little more of a share than that, but it wasn't. Buck Allen is the running back to own here, with or without Terrence West, right?
He's the running back to own, and I said this, but not because he's always going to lead the backfield in carries. He's always going to lead the backfield in catches.
Right.
Until Danny Woodhead maybe comes back.
Right.
Which, keep an eye out for that, but not like I believe in Woodhead. But he might come back
if
towards
he
the
comes
end of the
back,
season.
say, what happens if he comes back week 12, just in time for the fantasy playoffs?
It just messes up the rest of the backfield. That backfield is annoying as it is, and it's always going to be annoying because that's just how they do it. If they had no one else, they would sign 3 guys and just distribute the work between them. Like, that's just how they do that backfield.
Right.
They could have fucking Adrian Peterson in their prime, and they would still give him 40% of the workload.
Right.
Like, that's just how they do their work there. So even if Woodhead comes back, not really something that's interesting to me. Just Javorius Allen for the time being, since he's getting both some carries and all the passing work. Not all the passing work, but most of the passing work is the one interesting guy there for me.
Right. Okay. Next thing, it's not very surprising, but I thought it's at least worth mentioning, especially with Charles Clay out of the Buffalo right now. LaShawn McCoy leads all Bills players in targets and touches. Obviously, touches is no-brainer, but he leads all Bills in targets as well.
That is interesting. That's very interesting.
It's a little crazy, and it just shows. I mean, LaShawn McCoy is I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he's the only offensive player besides Tyrod Taylor in deep 2-quarterback leagues that you want to own. I mean, even Jordan Matthews seemed okay.
Right.
But he's banged up. We don't know what the status, when he's going to get back and if he's healthy. But LaShawn McCoy is going to get his every single game.
Yep.
All right.
A lot of work. You just hope he doesn't break down.
Yeah. Jonathan Stewart. He had 18 carries last week. He definitely is the running back in Carolina, but
Right.
Christian McCaffrey is second among all running backs in targets. And we
No
already said
surprise
it.
there.
Andre Ellington was first. McCaffrey is second. He's getting over 7 targets a game. Jonathan Stewart did have 18 carries, but only 21 yards last week on those 18 carries, so it wasn't very productive. But I expect that number to stay around 15 carries. 15 to 18 is probably where he's going to be. Do you agree?
Yeah, fair enough. 18 on the high end. Probably, I'd say 14, 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. So, yeah.
Still plenty of work I think for both. You wish it would be more if you're a McCaffrey owner. You're happy with his production, with his work. I mean, in PPR, but you would hope that he would be a little bit more productive and maybe get some more carries. But it seems like they're going to give a lot of that work to Jay Stu.
Yep. Next up is Jordan Howard.
I hate that you wrote Jay Stu on this show doc that we have, because then I said Jay Stu out loud, and I sound like a total douchebag because I said Jay Stu instead of Jonathan Stewart.
Jay Howe for the
Jay Howe, and then we'll talk about Jay Mix.
there you go. So Jay Howe had 19 carries last week. Really no love for Tariq Cohen here in the last couple of weeks. Cohen hasn't really been much. It looks like they're more confident with Jordan Howard. They know what they have there with Jordan Howard, and they're going to use him. He just had a slow start. It seems like he's going to be a solid, at least RB2 for the rest of the year. Do you agree?
Yeah. You know what? I'm starting to think more and more that the love for Cohen in early season was based off of just a combination of two things here. That he was very productive in the pass game in week 1,
Yep.
and that Howard was banged up in week 2.
Yep.
And that's the only reason Cohen was even really involved much. So, man, I think I'm going back to liking Jordan Howard a lot for the rest of the season.
Yeah, me too. And I had a predicament this week. I had to trade away Jordan Howard because I was kind of stacked on running back, and I really needed a quarterback. So I traded Jordan Howard for Russell Wilson. And as soon as I did, I was like, man, I still believe in Jordan Howard, though. But just team needs. Well, we'll get into trading and stuff. Maybe.
Was that a 2-quarterback league?
Yes.
Okay. Super flex league.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
not horrible.
It's not terrible.
But I do still believe in Jordan Howard. It made me uncomfortable. Jay Mix, he led the Bengals with 15 carries. Hill wasn't really a factor. He only played 11
Still not good with
snaps.
those carries.
I'm sorry?
Still not good with them.
No. But he's getting the work, and he's going to continue to get the work. Hill only played 11 snaps, and Giovanni Bernard is boomer bust. He did play 21 snaps, but Mixon was the leader on the Bengals.
Right.
So
I'm not sure how much that means at all this year.
no, but if you're going to roster any of them, it's going to be Mixon. Okay. I'll play Mixon on a good matchup. He's flex worthy most weeks. RB2 in good matchups.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Isaiah Crowell, Christian, we were talking about him a little bit off air before earlier today, but he had 16 carries. Duke Johnson is slowly, like, this hype train is gaining a ton of momentum here. Duke Johnson had 83 yards on just 9 touches.
Just thinking out loud, you got to add a train drop.
Okay, we'll add that.
No, I'm just saying, not in this show. I mean, for future reference.
Yeah, I know.
No,
Yeah,
but like a drop, not you.
No, that was a drop. That was professional. That wasn't me.
We just record you and then use that as the drop, and then people will not know if it's you doing it live or an actual drop.
Here. Let me push the button here.
Thank you for that, Dale.
Yeah, and Duke Johnson is 7th in the league among running backs, averaging a little over 6 targets per game.
I'll say this: for as much as I believed in Duke, Crowell's not going away, and Duke's not going to continue to score every week. He's actually a guy that I'm not very comfortable starting with, and I see people just plugging him in like it's all good into their lineup. I'm playing Duke Johnson this week, and I'm pretty happy about that. Duke's going against Houston, and I think that's a mistake. Like, if you're going to start Duke Johnson this week, if it's a non-PPR, like you're in a standard league, I think that's a mistake. And I'm the biggest Duke Johnson proponent probably in fantasy football. I said that he's probably going to catch more passes this year than he ever has, and he's been a 50, 55 catch guy. But I don't like him this week, and I think you should be worried about him moving forward because he's not typically this touchdown guy that he's been the last 3 weeks.
Yep. You're benching Crowell until he does something, right?
Yeah.
He's worth
He had every opportunity to do something last week and didn't really show me enough to make me feel like I can trust him at all.
Yep.
He'll probably blow up on my bench, but that's fine.
And I'll say this again, just because we don't talk about the Browns very often. Do not believe that the Browns have a good run defense. Play Lamar Miller with confidence this week.
Okay.
They've done good against running backs this year so far, but don't believe in them. I just had to throw that in.
Matchup adjusted, they are 13th in the NFL, so right in the middle of the pack.
But
they're top half. But yeah, it's not a great matchup. It's not a terrible matchup.
Right. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the Lions' backfield. Abdullah had 10 carries, which sucks, but don't forget he only had 3 in the second half of last game. So he was on pace for, maybe 15 carries for the game before the second half. I still like Abdullah, and I am starting him. I don't think that these last couple games where he's done fairly well is a fluke. I still like Abdullah, and I'm starting him if I can.
Okay.
Flex worthy for sure. If he's your third running back, you're starting him. And I also want to mention really quick about the wide receivers. Marvin Jones and Golden Tate split 8 carries apiece last week. Are you liking Marvin Jones at all anymore?
Not really. I know he was productive a little bit to start the season. I can't buy in just yet. That offense is pretty inconsistent right now. Even though they seem like they want to keep chucking the ball a ton, I feel like I can't trust it, man.
Yeah.
You can't expect a good week from anybody. Golden Tate will get his most weeks in PPR, but 8 targets was the season high for Jones. He started the season with those, a touchdown in each of the first 2 games. He's playing pretty much all the snaps, which is the one good thing that you can say.
Yeah, he's out there all the time, which is half the battle with getting targets.
He's missing, 2 or 3 snaps a game. That's it. Snap percentage throughout the season, 95, 90, 97, 91, 95, 94 is his average for the season. That's great. But you'd like to see more than these reception numbers for the first 4 games, 2, 1, 3, 2. Only versus Carolina with those 6 catches did you finally see something that's maybe, something. But you got New Orleans this week. Maybe you trust them against New Orleans, but after that, you got a bye week. So he's a guy that maybe you have for a week, and I'm not sure you're super happy with him. And he's going to have a couple good games, I think, from here on out rest of the season. Maybe New Orleans is one of them, but, I don't think there's enough volume there to be happy with it.
Yeah. As far as Abdullah, I know a lot of people talk about Amir Abdullah and his inefficiency in the red zone, but it's actually not too bad. I mean, he's gotten over 65% of his team's carries inside the 5-yard line. And
right.
same goes for inside the 10-yard line. So it's not like they just bench him as soon as they get into the red zone.
Right.
So that's kind of I don't know what you want to call it, a false narrative, but that's what it is.
Like you just mentioned about the About the defense for Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a second there to figure out what I wanted to say. Yeah, Cleveland. That team. Okay, let's move on.
I do want to mention that even Amir Abdullah has more percentage of the rushes inside the 5 than Ty Montgomery does. So, just FYI. I don't know if that's surprising or not, but I just wanted to mention that.
Okay.
All right. Next up,
actually.
I found this interesting. I don't know if you would. Devontae Adams is averaging more targets than Jordy Nelson is this year, just by about a target a game.
Okay, that is surprising, but man, I told you guys, buy Devontae Adams.
Yes, I like Devontae Adams a lot.
Can't get him cheap anymore though.
He led the NFL with 11 targets. That's not right.
Last week, no.
He led the team with 11 targets last week, and he was one of only 10 with 10 plus targets last week. So he's up there in the with all the rest of the high targeted, high volume wide receivers. I don't think he's playing the second fiddle. I don't think he's the true number 2 in Green Bay.
I think in terms of just overall production, he might be the 2 by the end of the year. But yeah, in terms of volume, he's right up there. He has a total of 39 targets on the year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So here's his target numbers. 7, 10, 6, 5, 11. Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
You look at that, he's averaging about 8 targets a game.
Yeah, not bad.
So that's nice.
And
I like
Jordy Nelson hasn't gotten over 10 targets yet for the season per week. All right.
Okay.
Next up, I do want to talk really quick about Lamar Miller. Like I said, I'm starting him this week against Cleveland, but he had 15 carries to Foreman's 4. Earlier in the season, people were kind of getting freaked out over Foreman taking over the role, saying that Miller sucked and that Foreman was going to take it. And there was some coach speak saying that Foreman was awesome, blah, blah, blah. That's not the case. It's Miller's role right now, and Foreman doesn't even pose a threat.
I agree.
Thanks for agreeing.
I agree. Okay. The longer this season goes on, the more I think it's going to be Lamar Miller's role. I don't think he's a super effective running back, but I do think he's a super safe running back.
Yeah. Foreman definitely a handcuff to own.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because I do think he's good, but it's Miller's team. All right. One thing to mention, Frank Gore, he had 14 carries compared to Marlon Mack's 9. Marlon Mack kind of broke out last week and was definitely a top waiver wire pick for the week. Gore still outcarried him. Is this going to continue, or is Mack going to slowly take over? What's your prediction here?
I don't think Mack's going to take over, but I think, and they even said this out of Indy, he's earned more work. And so we might see just a lessened workload for Frank Gore. God bless his soul. He's ancient, and Lord knows that he could use a lessened workload.
Yes.
Is that too mean?
No, I get it.
Okay. He's out there on a fucking, with a little stroller with the tennis balls at the bottom.
And for the Rams wide receivers, Kupp, Woods, and Higbee all shared the high target for the week with 8 apiece. I kind of feel like Jared Goff is going to be one of these quarterbacks that's going to spread the ball around a lot and be really efficient. I think it's going to continue. I think I like Cooper Kupp out of all those more than
Woods or Higbee.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. That might be. I'm looking for names for fantasy football biases here, but is that like the rookie love bias? We tend to like the new, fresh, shiny thing.
Maybe. But Kupp is he's good, man. I really like him, and I think he has a chance to really shine. Maybe not this year. I mean, Jared Goff is still kind of learning the game as well, so I think years to come. Dynasty
pretty
value.
much the target numbers for Woods and Kupp are almost identical through the first 4 games. Woods has 5 games. Woods has 30 targets. Kupp has 29. So
Yeah.
are we just thinking that Kupp is going to be more productive with those targets moving on?
Well, he hasn't been going crazy, but I think moving forward, I believe in Kupp a little bit more to break out from the pack.
All right. We're cupping it. I agree with you, by the way.
Okay.
I'm just, giving you some shit about it. That's all.
No.
I agree with you.
I get it. Jerick McKinnon to Latavius Murray. Man, Latavius Murray looked really good in the beginning of the game. I was watching and saying, man, like Murray he looks, I don't know if he looks a little thinner. But, and he looks a little faster than he did in Oakland. I don't know if it's the jerseys or what, but Jerick McKinnon still outcarried Murray 16-12.
Okay. That's going to flip.
Yeah.
Just wait for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think McKinnon has a lot of value in PPR. He's definitely a playmaker. He's athletic.
Latavius is not healthy yet. That's the issue.
I'm sorry?
I don't think McKinnon is special at all.
I kind of do.
At all.
I think he's a really good athlete. I mean, the numbers, the metrics say it.
You're blinded by the uniform. You think he's Peterson.
Maybe.
He is not.
Maybe.
The only special running back in that team is on IR.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's not Cook special, but
Wow, it only took me 2 lines to get you to change your opinion.
No. Look, he's not Kupp. I know that, but I think he is. I think he's very athletic, and he can definitely help this offense. And in a PPR format, I think he'll continue to get passes thrown his way. But Murray, the way he looked in the beginning of the game, at least, if he continues to look like that, he'll steal more and more carries from McKinnon.
Okay.
All right. And McKinnon really wasn't anything special before that long touchdown run. I mean, he's obviously he did well, but it wasn't eye-popping before that touchdown run.
Okay.
All right. Let's go right into the crazy backfield of the New England Patriots. Mike Gillislee led the team with 12 rushes for 51 yards. Man, he's still averaging over 4 yards a carry, which is like the baseline of good efficiency and bad. And he had 4.3 yards per carry. It is worth mentioning that James White outsnapped him and had 9 targets.
Yeah, and that might have been kind of Mike Gillislee's a tricky guy. I'm not sure what to believe in him because Tampa Bay's run defense has been decent, and I'm not sure if this is just a game flow thing. It's just a Patriots thing. It's difficult to know when to trust their running backs.
Yeah.
We saw Gillislee start the season so hot, but really, I mean, that first game was just 3 touch. It's beautiful. It's 3 touchdowns. You're psyched about that, but it was 15 carries for 45 yards, 3 yards a carry. It's not like he got a ton of work, but then he followed up the next week, 69 yards and another touchdown. Great. Last 3 weeks, exactly the same workload: 12 carries, 12 carries, 12 carries. No catches on the year whatsoever.
Right.
He does not catch the ball. So, the 24 snaps, you knew he's going to be running the ball, and the week before, 18 snaps. His snap percentage is very low.
Yeah.
So are we just basing our love for him off of the first couple weeks where he scored those touchdowns?
Well, he's put on the field for a reason. They don't put him on the field if they're not going to run him, So I'm not too worried about the snap counts. That's just what the Patriots do. If they're going to put him on the field, they're going to rush. They're going to rush the ball, and if they're not, they're going to put in somebody else who's going to catch the ball. So is it predictable? Probably. And hey, I mean, Belichick's a better coach than I am, so whatever. But yeah, I mean, when he's on the field, he carries the ball. It's not like other teams where they're using the same running back to run and to block and run out of the backfield sometimes. They don't do that. They know Mike Gillislee's not going to catch the ball, so they don't put him out on passing downs. Hogan did lead the team with 11 targets.
Yeah. So what are you doing with Gillislee moving forward in a standard league? Because PPR, I think he's like borderline never playable in PPR.
Right. I'm playing Mike Gillislee when I think the problem is with the Patriots too. They always have the opportunity to score, right? I mean, their offense is so potent that any given time, it doesn't really matter about the defense that he's playing because his points aren't going to come from the 80 to 100-yard games. His points are going to come from how many times are they going to get inside the 10 or 5-yard line. And with the Patriots, that happens often. So
it does.
So are you going to gamble and hope that they are going to get into the inside the 10 or 5 often? And if you think that, then start Gillislee because he's going to get a couple touchdowns. You're not going to get saved by him by his yardage.
I think because of the emergence, I guess, of Hogan, it's not going to be LeGarrette Blount 2.0. We're not going to see an 18 touchdown season because there's going to be that additional, several of those rushing touchdowns that might have happened last year are going to be 1-yard touchdown passes.
Right. Yeah.
And and the Patriots offense is just different from what it was last year. So he's a guy that I think you can flex every single week. And half of the time he'll hit and the other half he won't.
Chris Hogan has gotten 9 targets inside the 20-yard line, and that accounts for almost 30% of the team's targets.
Thank you for backing up what I just said.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
These are just numbers, man.
No, yeah, it works. It helps.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
I mean, I'm not lying.
I know you're not lying. I think the numbers just make it sound like you know what you're talking about. I'm helping you out.
Damn, Jesus. All right.
All right. There's just a couple guys I want to talk about before we finish this up. Hyde and Brito.
Carlos. And, Brito.
Not
Matt.
Brito.
Brito.
Yeah, Brito. Brito did not outtouch Hyde. Brito.
Outtouch myself.
Basically, they're just saying
That was weird.
they're going to use a hot hand approach. Not good for Hyde owners.
Only good for the kitchen.
Yes, the hot hand approach is good for the kitchen.
You ever use the hot hand approach in the kitchen? That crowd's kind of mean.
That's
Shut
what our
up,
live
crowd.
show audience sounds like.
That's what all of our audience sounds like.
What are you doing with Hyde the rest of the season?
Starting him? Like, what else are you going to do with him?
Yeah.
He's a middle of the road RB2.
Yeah. I mean,
He is DeMarco Murray. He is Mark Ingram. I know this was one really rough week, but he's been pretty decent. Like, I don't know. He's probably a guy that, as long as he's healthy, you put in there with pretty good confidence.
yeah.
He's averaging 4.5 yards a carry. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game, and that's almost 11 fantasy points per game. Let me clarify that. So obviously you have the one big week against LA on Thursday night that skewed it in the positive direction. 84 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also 3 catches on that game for 10 yards.
Yeah.
But then you have the one game that skews it in the negative direction with his 1.8 fantasy points last week. So I think it's a fair, assumption that he's pretty close to 10 points a game, and I'll take that from my RB2 anytime. So,
Sure.
I like him.
Okay.
You're going to start him every week.
All right. How much do you think there's another running back out there with the last name Jekyll? What a marketing strategy that would be, just to sign him, just to have Jekyll and Hyde in your backfield. I'll give it to myself.
What? Oh, you don't have enough confidence in your jokes, man. But then again, I like all the jokes. Jekyll.
Running
Running
back Jekyll.
back.
Has there ever been a Jekyll? Jekyll. Why is wait? Hold on. I typed in JEK, and up on the suggestions is Jekyll running back.
It's probably because I literally just searched for it.
Wait, but why is it on here, though? Why is it on my computer?
Because I am searching using the Eat Sleep Fantasy Google account.
Ah, okay. All right, that makes sense.
Are you also using the Eat Sleep
Yes, I
Fantasy
am.
Google account?
Okay.
So.
That was a little scary.
Whoa, dude, is your mind blown? You ever read Jekyll and Hyde?
No. I read from I was born till I was in 12th grade. I probably read one book.
What a ripoff of the Hulk. Obviously, I'm
Yeah.
saying that tongue in cheek. It's backwards.
Right.
But because people will be like, no, man, the Hulk is a rip. Okay,
Yes.
I'm just making a
It's
joke.
fine. One guy
I do not see any running backs named Jekyll.
I know one guy you wanted to talk about was Jarvis Landry.
Yeah,
Look, I gave up on Devontae Parker.
me too.
I've given up.
And that's why I want to talk about Jarvis Landry.
Okay, how's Jarvis Landry doing?
Here's Jarvis Landry's target numbers for the first 4 weeks. 15, 11, 7, and 10. He's had double-digit targets 3 out of his 4 games. Now, again, he's not doing great with those targets. But let's keep in mind, the matchups weren't great. The travel was absurd. The most the team's ever traveled in 4 weeks. And so, you know, a 2-2 team after that, I think they're set for a better outlook on offense in general. That's not saying much because they've been piss poor, but I think it's optimistic for Landry owners. He's a guy that I might buy low right now, honestly, because Parker is banged up again. I'm out on Parker, and I think Jarvis Landry is legitimately going to be a top 24 wide receiver for the rest of the season, and nobody is thinking that.
No. Just to back up what you're saying, Jarvis Landry, Jay Cutler has given it to Jarvis Landry 40% of the targets inside the red zone. So
Yeah.
let me reiterate that. Jarvis Landry has gotten the ball 40.
Taking it from Jay
he's
Cutler
taking it from Jay
40% of the time.
Yeah. So I think 40% is a pretty big target share inside the red
Yeah.
zone for one player.
That 6.6 yards per catch will go up. And if that goes up, his target numbers are better than they've ever been. I think he's still going to be an 85, 90 catch guy. So in PPR, you're still liking him. But I do think that yards per catch will go up. It has to go up. It's not going to be 6 yards per catch for the rest of the year. So look for Jarvis Landry. I know he's the one guy that I put on this sheet, and Dale put everybody else. So I just had to mention him. Yeah. That's all.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see. In 2015,
His 110 catches season.
yeah, and I'm just looking at his average yardage per catch, and it's up over 12 yards a catch for his good 2015 season. 2006.
That's 2016.
2016, he did pretty well as well.
Yep. 94 catches on that season.
Yeah, and over 10 yards per catch. So if you just look at history, it looks like, but he's also never played with Jay Cutler.
I miss Ryan Tannehill. I never thought I'd say that in my life.
Let's see. This year, he's at 7 yards per catch.
6.6. Let's not round that up.
Yes, sorry. I'm looking at some wrong data. Anyways, all right. We can move on.
Okay.
That's it. Don't forget, guys, you can listen to our live show. We're going to put it on all social media. We're also going to put it on our website sometime Thursday, where you can listen to us and what numbers you can call in. We would love to have a show where we just take call-ins the entire time, where we don't have to actually come up with like a plan. We're way better off the cuff.
Do we look like people with a plan?
No. Christian, do you want to talk to the fine folks that are listening about our partner, Draft?
Listen, guys, Draft is the best possible way to play DFS because you can do a snake draft every week. You can get a real live draft with your buddies going. In about 5 minutes, you can get that draft done. You can play for $1. You can play for $50. You can set the league to how you want to do it. If you want to do start from Thursday, today, all the way through to Monday. There's so many things you can do with the draft app. And now they've got several promotions going with us. They've got one, which you enter promo code EATSLEEPFANTASY, and you get a free entry to a $3 game with us. Join us. We're going to do probably a couple of those today, and then a ton of them throughout the weekend. So that's promo code EATSLEEPFANTASY. You can follow myself, ESF Brito. Follow Dale, ESF Dale. We'll be sending out challenges throughout the weekend. Not only that, but they've got a special little thing going on, Dale, the money back guarantee. Can you tell them about that?
Yeah. Basically, they're saying if you don't like it, if you're not satisfied with how it works and the play and all that stuff, they are guaranteeing that you'll like it or your money back up to $100. So it's definitely worth checking out. And worst case scenario, you don't like it, and they just refund you your money.
See, this is what's going to happen. All right, you're going to use that promo code EATSLEEPFANTASY. Mm-hmm. You're going to get a free $3 entry.
Yep.
Okay? And you're going to do that first draft.
Yep.
You're going to say, holy crap, this is the best thing I've ever done. You're going to deposit money. Mm-hmm. I am then going to take your money.
Yep.
And then you're going to be like, damn.
And then
money back guaranteed.
And then 2 weeks later, you're going to use all of your child's college fund to continue to play.
No, and then 2 weeks later, your wife is going to ask you, how come I'm receiving so many notifications for PayPal deposits?
Yeah, I got to I don't know why she's getting all my notifications, but I got to somehow turn that off.
It's fine, man. Just keep giving me your money. I'm good.
No, because she starts questioning it, and then she wants to go out to fancy dinners, and then when I say we don't have the money, she says, well, Jesus, you just put $50 in draft. And then I said, that's for the podcast. It's a business expense.
And then I start posting pictures of fancy dinners because...
Yeah.
My draft account looks good right now.
Mine does not look so hot. Man, I'm so up and down.
Super confident. I'm going to lose a ton of money this week.
I'm so up and down. But anyways, don't forget.
Please challenge us.
Yeah.
Promo code EATSLEEPFANTASY. Follow Dale, ESF Dale.
Yeah, because when you follow us, I follow you. And then when we start drafts, basically I just invite everybody in my list. So it's first come, first serve. You can't always get there on time, but we're going to do a ton. So as soon as you see the notification pop up, make sure you click it because you really don't have a lot of time to join because people start joining.
Yeah.
All right. Christian, I think that was a great episode. Again, guys, thank you. This looks like a nooner podcast, which is okay. We like to get them out earlier, but I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, listen to our French Friday show tomorrow. Friday.
I'm sorry, I'm on the draft app.
For Christian Brito, I'm Dale. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
It's fall at JCPenney. Time to refresh your closet. This Thursday through Monday, get Levi's lowest prices of the season on 514 straight fit jeans for guys, $36.99. And select Arizona booties for her for $35.99. Plus, save an additional 50% off clearance prices already reduced by 60 to 80%. And get an extra $10 off with your coupon. Hurry in now. JCPenney. Coupon valid 10/5 to 10/9. Levi's and other brands excluded from coupon. Clearance selections vary by store while supplies last. Savings off regular and original prices. Intermediate markdowns may have been taken. See store or jcp.com for details. Season refers to 9/27 to 10/18.